How's it going, everybody? Sorry about the the late and the devious start there. I was pounding back a sandwich, right? Trying to get that down so I can get back to work. I didn't think it was going to take 5 minutes, but, well, the sandwich had other plans. So I deviously increased the time to 2 minutes. Now the timer's run out. How's it going? I had to let the dog out real quick. You know, got to use the washroom. They got to do what they got to do. I figured, let's get that all out of the way. So I apologize. Seizure, how's it going? How you guys doing? I don't know how long we'll be streaming today, right off the top. But what we'll be working on, let me just get all this stuff out of here, is, and it, for those interested, it is spoilers. It'll be for issue 2 of Jesop King. Working on some thumbnails today. And yeah. So we're going to keep working on that. Again, any questions or anything like that, feel free to jump in. Normally with thumbnails, I will say this. Normally with thumbnails, I don't stream it that often unless I'm trying to show like after the fact. I think I've gone back. I've shown like thumbnails before for sure. One of them being like a one page. And it took maybe, it was like a 20-30 minute video for a page. And most of that was just doing what I'm doing right now, running my mouth, right? It's not it's not actual, like, it doesn't take that long to do a thumbnail. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you just got to try to find it, that the flow is not there and all that stuff. So I don't know how long this is going to go, and you guys might not get as interested from it, but what the hell. It is what it is. No pretty artwork today. It's just going to be, in my opinion, the hardest part of comics. Okay, so let's get in here, see what we got. Let's see kind of where we're going here. So I haven't established a location for this place. I just know the plots and kind of where they're at. I feel like we've done, not that we'll never do rocks again. Let's try to find a big fat brush here that might work. Yeah, that's a good size. If I've done rocks, I don't know if I want to do trees and stuff. Just for reference here, I'll show you guys. So there's 2 characters coming up in this one. I'll show you the monsters that they'll be fighting. These little dudes here. I haven't come up with a name just yet. We'll come up with something. I'm not a massive fan of how he looks with his mouth open. There's some stuff I was finding while I was designing this guy that I think will be better in terms of how we can describe that. Like, I like this shape up here, looks friendly. But then the go evil kind of thing is kind of cool. So I'll be playing with that. I'm going to actually, like, the hard work here has been done. The sort of fun guesswork, I'm going to wait till whenever that happens in the story, which is actually like page 1. We start right with some fights. And then there's this other character here, Peace, who's a monkomancer. That's I'm trying to be pretty lame with that right now, but this is the design for this dude. At the time of drawing him, he was a white guy, and then I'm like, I want to put, like, let's get a black guy in here or something. Let's just change it up a bit. This will actually be the first human in the comic too. So as I was drawing him, it worked, and I went from white to black, so I gave him like a bigger nose, just some fuller lips. But I don't know if, like, now that I'm looking at this like a day later, I don't know if I like this color for the skin of a black guy. Maybe we can get like a little bit more richness in there. Just give me a second while I'm here with this. Like something like that. That feels a little better. I'll leave it with that. I'm just gonna walk away, and then we'll come back. But these are 2 new character. Or this is a new character, and that's going on there. If you guys also, before I really buckle down here with the updates, I started this new like quick podcast kind of thing. Ideally, I'd like to be 10 to 15 minutes. They've been going about 20 minutes. It's just sort of like updates and just what's going on. Just some fun stuff to give you guys updates and to keep me creating every day kind of thing. So if you're interested, check those out. I talked a little bit about that character I just showed. I think tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit more about him. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him as a recurring character or just somebody that pops in from time to time. Draw... Seizure, are you asking or is that what you're drawing? Okay, so we've got... So how this works is the first page... let me actually open this. I posted this on Patreon. Let me as well show it with you guys too. Maybe on my desktop. Just a little teaser, but just so you guys can have an idea of what the hell I'm doing off screen here. So I use Trello again for writing, and for this workflow, I like to just do the Marvel method of just plots. So I'll start with, like, you'll see a B, B, M, 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 E, E. That just means beginning, beginning, middle, 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 end, end. So when I start, I always start here at the end. Like, this is usually like the resolution of my whole story. So it's the whole point. And then the beginning is flipped and then go there. I've got lots of videos talking about that. But as you can see, there's this little add-on you can download for Trello. I forget what it's called or where you can get it. I'm pretty sure it's free, but it's not through Trello. It's something else. And it just has like a number of the amount of cards, I guess. That's what they're called in Trello. But I'm looking at them as beats, and I use each beat as a page. Okay, so you can see like the very first page here is Jesop fighting creatures. Page 3 is Jesop fighting creatures. I haven't decided anything, you know? So it's all, it is what it is. So what this also does, this number, is it gives me a number that I can add and go, okay, sweet, I'm hitting how many pages I want to hit. So how this works is, right, like this is just the plot, just fighting creatures, it's open. So it's pretty quick to go through these things. So again, I haven't, like, and then the second page here is surrounded in battle for days. Jesop is annoyed that he cannot find the monk. They're looking for this monk, and you guys will see more about that later. And so he's just fighting. He's actually been fighting these creatures, little red creatures, for days. So the blue, they all have a color meaning. Blue means story, so this is where there'll be more dialogue. You know, this one is just an opening thing. Yada yada yada. So this is what I'm looking at off screen. So if I always look over here, that's what I'm looking at. You're drawing the DC Atom. Oh, awesome. All right, so I feel like we need something. We need a location. So what I'll do is, this is something that I like to do. Pinterest. I just want to make sure it's. I don't think you can. I don't know if you can filter. I just don't want any, like, you know, spicy stuff that can show up sometimes when you go on this wild place called the internet. So I'm gonna put. Let's put concept art, landscape. And I usually like to save a bunch of these pins. Not that I copy these locations at all, but what they do is they just give me a great starting point and like a feel, you know. This might actually be kind of cool. This kind of thing. So let me just open that up in another one. Just quickly. So what I like about this one here is, I didn't even think about this, but and I recommend doing this too for your own projects or otherwise, is always gather reference. Spend like the 30 minutes or less, or like more, and just quickly gather some research, because like this kind of stuff saves you so much time. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I can't just like close my eyes and see all of this. That's the beauty of art. I can just go on the internet and open my eyes after some keyword searches and get some really cool stuff. Like, so in my mind, I have no idea where they are, but they are going after a monk. You know what I mean? So like this kind of like Eastern decoration could be pretty sick, and I like how it's in a mountain with some waterfall. You know, but mostly it's just like the structures. I think might be pretty cool, and they're not traveling around a lot of areas. It's just a location. Like even this almost looks a little better. All right, so let's do this. So we're gonna save this. I think I got some secret ones here. Secrets. Do I have a Jesop King too? I do. Okay, so let's save that in there. This right here, I actually like. This reminds me a little bit of like Dagobah, you know, with Yoda's little hut. I think I might just like do the full swipe of this. I like this. This has got some potential. Because Momo would be somewhere around here trying to figure out how to get in here, while Jesop's been fighting out here for days. Let's go ahead and save that. This is like a top contender right here. Just because, and that's the other thing too, which is really important. Oh yeah, see, like stuff oh man, this is just already story ideas, you know. Like look at this giant bell. I thought that would be kind of cool. I don't know how I could incorporate that, but it doesn't hurt to just do a little click and save it. You know, you're right. Everybody needs references. Absolutely. There's no shame in reference. Let's take a little look see here. I'm going to save this too. I'm not quite sure how this would play in. There's actually a part where the monk shows up and he's clapping. Maybe it could be the bell ringing or something. And he's on top, maybe. I like that. Alright, so again, I don't need to spend too much time here. And sometimes what I'll do too is like an example could be like color next, right? So how do I color a scene? Just because I have like these references here, like this one, I don't want to copy everything about it. Maybe the lighting doesn't feel right. Maybe I want it to be like this ice cold kind of stuff. So you can take inspiration from lots of little things. That's pretty sick. A giant chain bridge. I've seen this a couple times. Check this out. This is pretty cool. Like I just love the story that plays in your head from something like this. Awesome stuff. Okay, let me just close all this. I'm going to put it off to the side because I do have some pins that I don't want to necessarily share with you guys. They're my pins for Jesop anyway. Okay, so let's go check out. Where's Jesop King? Right here. Oh, I forgot. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. All right. I need to do this because I forgot one of the reference pictures I took from Pinterest. Check this out. I love this. I don't know what it's called, so if anybody that's watching knows, please let me know. So let me open up Piece here. It's where like uh, like black people they get the I don't know if white people I don't think white people can do it, but black people they lose that what is it the melatonin is that's what it's called, right? Where they lose it from their skin, so they start to look like they're white. I love that. Looks so it's such a unique design. Let me just open this up because I actually just so you guys can see it here. Let me copy. Just don't know how dark this will be. Let's paste it. So this was the reference here. This girl that I just saw and I forgot, but I really like some of the tones. Let's see how it's pretty dark. Let's see how it looks. I feel like that's just too dark. Let's bring it up a bit because I know I'll be adding shadow, right? I just need a level of just so it's convincing. Looks a little more chocolate than it is. Maybe something like this. We'll try. And you can see, like, I clearly forgot, but like even the white in his, I might have to change the white band ribbons because that's going to compete. Even his hair is really white. Might make a cool. What do they call it? Juxtaposition. Is that the word I'm looking for? All right, let's start carving some of this in. Let's have some fun with this. Let's see. Let's grab our lasso fill. So maybe we can get like a cool pattern, like maybe it goes down and high. And it's stuff like this. It just I don't know. You really like it. Just add some personality, some story, and I don't know why. Maybe all down the one side. Yeah, I like it already. Just it's fun looking, man. All up the back of the neck. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's try the okay. So let's put it on this this guy's side here. See how this is gonna look. So it goes. See this one side's a little. You don't really see it too much. So all that's gonna be there. He's kind of got it on the top of his lip, bottom of his lip. You know what? Let's do this. Let's back up. Oh shit, how are we gonna okay, so I'll make a note that this is flipped in my head, so that way I can see more of it on this side. If that makes any sense to you at all. Alright, so go down here, it kinda comes up and goes back in here. Lip, lip, then all back down the neck. Maybe we can kinda come come down the arm too. Be kind of cool. And actually, like a little, like I said at the start of this, there's probably going to be story spoilers for those that, you know, if that's something that you really care about, you probably forget by the time it's done. But little things like this that I forgot, how they'll always bleed back into the story. So those monsters that are there, it's mostly a test. So they're kind of like monsters this guy would summon, and they kind of have like this stripe pattern around them. And I'm thinking instead of making it sharp like those are, kind of do the same thing with this guy, and it might just make it feel a little bit more connected. Maybe we can get like a Sagat times kind of scar going down the side, but it's just this pattern. Yeah, I like that. Looks cool. Maybe the hands can be like that too. So one of the reasons I'm going back and forth on with, or back and forth with, is if I should keep this character as like a recurring character because he's got some story stuff that doesn't really get, like, you kind of hear about his history a little bit, but it's not like it's expanded upon too much. And I just kind of really dig the potential of this guy, and I don't want to lose him. I don't want to just like put him in as like a placeholder kind of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think something like that. Like it just looks cool. Like there's something unique about this. You know, I dig it. All right, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go back to what I'm supposed to be doing the thumbnails, but I needed to make sure I got that idea down. I didn't want to lose it. All right, close it up. Let's get to the good stuff. Okie day. So I guess we're gonna try with like this. What's it called? This like Japanese. It's Japanese, I believe, the kind of structure here. How do you automatically fill in a lasso object like that? Okay, so in Clip Studio here, if you click this icon, it's above the text. It's embedded in the direct draw, frame, ruler, that kind of thing. Under direct draw, if you go down, you'll have like straight line curve. Right here, lasso fill. So whatever lasso you make, as soon as you let go, it'll fill it with whatever your color is. It's a fun little way to ink and stuff like that too. All right, so the first beat is Jesop fighting. So I think we're just going to jump right into the fight. I don't think I'm going to really establish too much. I want this to look kind of cool. I'm not sure in the top of my head how he's going to be. I always like the idea of him just being surrounded by monsters and stuff. But I want it just to be like impact. As soon as we start this thing, just off of the bang. Maybe we'll do like a close-up shot of his head. We can do shot as we get like all these monsters. Maybe they're biting them and stuff too. I don't know. Somebody posted. I posted a picture of them. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Uh, they call them Geodudes, which was kind of funny. They do remind me of Geodudes. Oh, something I should say too. Okay, let's make them look real super pissed. Start with like that big ol' in your face, just anger. Maybe we could put. I've been debating on. Okay, I got two things to talk about. Let me right here. 4 a.m. So I've been debating on putting more blood in the comic because I want to start moving it towards the serious tone, but I don't necessarily want him just beating the hell out of these things. There's blood everywhere, I think. However, on one hand, I've been thinking like the whole point is he's been fighting for days. That's the idea. So maybe blood would be appropriate, but instead of red blood, because these creatures are red, right? Maybe it's like green blood or something. So maybe we can cover them in blood. Or alien goo blood or something. Just might make it seem. Because I want, like, the one thing, if you guys have read Jesop King, let me know too. Those are in the I know there's just Seizure really is the one that's just talking right now, and thank you. But if anybody else is listening, if you've read Jesop King, let me know what you think. Because I know when I started out, it's a kind of a kid friendly ish sort of vibe. but I know where the story's going to go, and it can't get there without violence. That's kind of like the motif or the point in a lot of ways. So I need to inject that in there. So this might play in there as well. It's just having, like literally bloodbath at the beginning would be kind of thing. So we have him angry here. Maybe we can just show like a fist, just like now. I'm running into a problem because he doesn't want to do violence, especially the blood and stuff. Ah, no, that's fine. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So let's get like this. I got this idea here. This big fist, almost like the Hulk, coming down on this creature. Just squish. So he's getting pissed. We'll get some rocks kind of coming up. Just pure impact. Maybe get his legs. The monster's still, kind of coming at him. I don't think I like this first panel. Let's make Jesop even smaller. Just because he's looking like he might be about the same size in the previous panel. If we bring him back, it just makes him more dynamic. So we need an extreme close-up here. So maybe, you know what? Maybe he could be saying something. I don't think he's saying like you're pissing me off or anything, but I think it might be cool. Maybe if we get like extreme close-up of the nose, get the mustache looking angry, and we can put like blood all over the mustache and stuff. That might be cool. It starts off right like Jesop's the mustache. He is like that's usually, in my opinion, that's what people always remember, that Mario-esque kind of mustache. So if we cover it with blood, it sets the tone, sets the feels, right? Get you getting where you need to go. Okay, so the next page is what was it again? This is story. Surrounded in battle for days, Jesop is annoyed that he cannot find the monk. Okay. So we need a. Sorry, this is going off. Let me mute it. So we got to get that established in chat. All right, so this one we have to show that it's been days, and the only way I can think about that is just having like beside they're gonna have to say it. We've been here for days. Momo's still not here, so I just want to be Jesop and these guys, but we get to show like corpses, as well as this really cool idea of. Hey Dennis, how's it going? Yes, I'm using Clip Studio, or Manga Studio, whatever it's called, wherever you're at. Uh, so do like the down shot. Yeah, maybe we'll do like a. Hmm. just want to pull back quite a bit here. And then we can show, you know, him down here just for scale. Like, he's a pretty big guy, but then we can show, you know, blood splatter all around. Literal bloodbath. I have an idea for the next panel to kind of highlight this building here, just to show, because like this shows scale of the place, but doesn't show, like, the better shot is going to be the next one, where I'm hoping where it's like on the ground a little bit looking up, so you can see more of the, you know, the girth of the building and all that kind of stuff. We'll have to figure this location out. I'll probably just do like a quick concept sketch of, you know, the rocks, and I like it being tranquil, even though there's all this blood going around. It's blood and death. Right, so we can get these cool rocks kind of coming here. Maybe we get like a waterfall coming down into like a little. Actually, let's make this on a floating rock. Because floating rocks are cool. And then these waterfalls are just going into wherever. On a floating rock. Make another layer. So I like to do this. This is just an idea for me to, not to necessarily put text there, but that I want to put text there. Right, like here we can put some text. Maybe we can put some here, something like this. So here we can put it in the background just to show the scope of it. And we gotta show that bell because that's gonna play off later on, so we can do a little bit of foreshadowing, I guess. So we're gonna have that. We can bring it in again. Maybe he's just really pissed. Some sort of face. So I'm using this page kind of to show where, like, how long it's been, and then more of the background as well, right? So maybe a little sky shot, more of a sky shot. What do we got? Maybe we pull back a little bit more here. This is the floating rock. Some rocks. The big building. Or maybe there isn't a bell. We'll just keep it all on this kind of thing. Maybe like some roots and stuff coming out. Some waterfalls. No, it's like Cloud City, but like rocks. Actually, here, let's put some fucking clouds in there too. That'll look good. So as you can see, comics is very seat of your pants. Do whatever you want to do. It'll always work. No, it's probably in your best interest to. I mean, what I enjoy doing, why I enjoy doing Jesop like in this way, is that it's very organic. whatever feels kind of fun and cool, do that. And you can see, like, I usually never go to like 5 panels, which is awesome because most writers and stuff in story, it's great. You want to fit as much story as you possibly can, right? And 3 to 4 panels, you don't really get to tell a lot. The size of the pages, and I know what's going on the internet, so it's condensed, so it's fine. And I'm not showing as much story. There are pages where I'll add that in, but you just get to draw some cool looking things, right? Like these look just fun to draw, like especially that first page. That looks like a blast. Okay, so we got page 1, 2, 3. Third one. Actually, let me try something here. Okay, is there stickers you can add? Hey, Europa, how you doing? How you doing? All right, stickers. Maybe there's not. Stickers. There we go. So that one's done. That one's done. I'm in Trello right now if you guys are asking what the hell's going on. Momta, how you doing? All right, now we're back to Jesop fighting creatures. What's after this? Momo keeps looking at the monk's door to wait. Okay, so she's gonna. Now we get to show her coming up. So it's not just Jessup, but let's see if we can. This is almost. It's not the end, but there's definitely like. We're gonna start wrapping it up. There's a lot of fighting in this one, which is what I wanted. I want to just show like some. Maybe. Oh, I got an idea. Let's. Just as an idea. Maybe he's punching and he's punching right through monsters. That seems kind of cool. So we can maybe put like a fist. Right, and then the arms kind of coming through or something. And right through their stupid mouths. I don't know how the hell this is going to work. We're going to have to figure out to get all the perspective. Not the perspective, but the scale and stuff, right? Hey, Jojo. You want to look good side, buddy? Here, let me open that up for you. There you go. Oh, getting the roof done. Nice. Punching through. Because, like, his muscles are massive, right? I don't know. I don't know how the hell he would fit all that through there, but we'll figure it out when we get there. It just seems like a cool idea. Punching through two monsters. And then we got to get that counter swing so maybe he's getting punched in the face or something. Let's just add some panels and we'll fill them up. Okay, bang. So there's a lot of back and forth here. Let's just keep getting them. Maybe one's like behind him choking him out. That'd be kind of funny. See, like this big arm over here, and then this big arm, and this stupid monster back here. More monsters. Alright, I keep forgetting he's got superpowers. But I feel like if we just keep the punching going on, you know, like if he's punching. Here, sorry, let me see if I can move that down a bit. That's going to be bad. So yeah, this is way up there. Can you guys see me when I'm drawing? Nah, I guess you just have to see my stupid scalp. That's really blown out, eh? Here, let me fix that. Properties. Configure video. Is it exposure? Brightness. Might help anyway. So I'm not blinding you with my scalp all the time. Anyway, okay. So what I'm hesitant on a little bit is, so he's got superpowers, right? But if I keep it with the punchy punchy, then it's still kind of like the bad guys. Not that they have a chance, but it's, you know what I mean. It's kind of fair. The moment the eye lasers show up, that's when it starts turning into like, I'm not fighting everything. I'm just zapping everything. But it might be kind of cool. I don't know. Let me see. It's been a little while since we had to tap into his powers. What powers does he have? Search. Jesop. Powers list. Super strength, super speed, magnetism, eye lasers, and flight. So God mode, basically, right? Momo doesn't need oxygen to function. She has fire, lightning spells. She can read simple creatures' minds and hovering. Okay, so maybe is Jessup King gay? Not at all. Not even close. He's a robot. So, in case you don't know, Jessup King is the story of a decommissioned war machine who befriends an exiled princess as they adventure through the galaxy. So, he's he used to be a war machine, so he doesn't have anything remotely close to like love interests besides friendships. His main function is to kill, right? It was to kill. That's kind of one of the running themes is that he's always trying to. He's not trying to find love at all, right? It's he's trying to, in a way, find redemption for the killing that he's done and the bad things he's done, and the the compassion and feelings part hopefully comes through friendship. So sorry, seizure. I apologize. I feel like just because the character's big and fluffy and he's got that teddy bear kind of look, I get a lot of people. You're not the only person to ask this. Where it's like, is he gay? Is he furry? Is he into that kind of stuff? And that, not even that's not not into that at all. If you're into it, that's cool. Not a problem. Okay, so maybe we're going. Maybe we'll introduce eye lasers here. Maybe we'll remove this here. So I don't know how he's gonna. I guess it doesn't matter that he's getting choked out. Let's show this here. Like spark. Get the other arm there. We'll get the, just incinerate this guy. Okay, let's go to the next one. Momo keeps looking at the monk's door. Okay. So now we're back to here. Bronco, how's it going? So Jessup is the Terminator with a mustache. uh, I mean, yeah, sure. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Terminator with superpowers. There's like a lot of parallels I've found since kind of going with it. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel at all, but like between obviously like Superman, superpowers, Terminator. What's the other one? Is it Big Robot or not Little Big or whatever the hell that's called? It was Giant Robot or something. I think it's a Disney or a Pixar movie or something. It's like a big robot that befriends a kid, right? But the robot's main purpose is death and destruction kind of thing. So it's along those lines too. Okay, so Momo is looking at the monk sort of way for her to get in, and this is a story page. All right, so let's introduce. Let's give her a big long panel here, and we can add some story here, some here, and then she. Iron Giant. That's it. Thanks, Jim. Drop loads of text in there. Guide the eye down that way. Make her think in here. So this one I want to have a lot more text going on just so it slows it down a little bit. Uh, Bronco is asking, what are the biggest differences between Photoshop and the program? Okay, so this is Clip Studio, you guys. Clip Studio Paint EX or Manga Studio 5. They're all the same. I know they have different names and stuff. The main, honestly, it's the exact same thing as Photoshop, except Photoshop is more like you can do anything in Photoshop, right? But Photoshop is great for everything. It's great for everything. You don't need this to draw in or anything like that. What Clip Studio very well shines very well in my opinion, is if you do illustration or comic book work, like sequential work. Coloring works awesome. I still think coloring might, I don't want to say better, as in like, and I'll just put a caveat with this, okay? Photoshop and Clip Studio, when I say one's better than the other, it doesn't mean that it's like you're going to get better art out of it. It's just better, like it feels better for certain reasons, and hopefully I can describe them to you. For me, right? There's plenty of people. One of my biggest one of the artists that I look up to in a lot of ways for doing a lot of this stuff is Freddie Williams. I've talked about him a billion times, the DC Comics Guide to digitally drawing comics author. He's been doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman, all that stuff. Uses, I'm pretty sure still, one of the cheapest Wacom bamboos, right? and Photoshop to do all of his work. Loads of people use Photoshop. What I like personally about this software is that it has features put in that make the creation of a comic book easier. Like the intent, at least for Manga Studio 4, was this was the software you use if you want to make a comic book. It's got built-in tools that Photoshop doesn't. You can get them in add-ons and stuff like that. Like other people have made things and that sort of thing. But a lot of the things, such as like making, like here I'll show you, like this kind of thing right here. Not that you can't do this in Photoshop, but you can't do it. At least I haven't been able to in this efficient of a way. So we'll use just like this frame here, right? So just say you're making panel borders or whatever, right? So you can do this, and then you can start cutting it up. Like this is how long is this taking, right? You can do diagonals. You can change all this stuff, right? Like I don't know, you can do that. That's actually pretty cool, right? Like, and then you're done, you know. And then you've kind of got, I don't know if you can click off of this stuff or not, but right. And what you can do with inside of this kind of thing, I don't use this that often, but like you can't draw out. It already masks everything outside of it, right? Like that's just one feature. Uh, I wouldn't say you're buying it just because of that. It has a whole bunch of pen settings and stuff, so you can go ahead and go in there and it can like add curves to your line or straighten out your line if you got a really jittery hand. I know most people might not care; they like that imperfection, which is perfect. I've only come across one guy, and I met him at a convention once, and he's got a jitter. I don't know if he has some sort of nerve damage or something in his hand, so he has to draw. And the slower you go, it's like it gets worse, right? But if you go quick, it's kind of not that bad. So what he really enjoys about this, and I think he used Illustrator before, because in Illustrator, I've been told you can add like smoothing or something like that on. Anyway, uh, so he turns that on and he can draw a little slower now, and the line gets a little bit more corrected. So there's like some things that way. Trying to think what else. For me, it feels more lightweight than Photoshop does, so I can work like in a 600 DPI image, even with coloring. Coloring it does slow down a bit for sure, but with black and white line art, like with a bowl, like a whole shitload of layers, it's very efficient. Toning, you can do some work. I don't know. I mean, might not sound enough. What I recommend doing is I think you can I don't know if there's a demo anymore. You guys, I don't know. It's been a while, but they're always on sale. You can buy. This is like the pro version or whatever. I'm not sure exactly uh, what it has that the cheaper ones doesn't. But I think the cheap ones you can get on sale for like $20 to $50 tops, and it's essentially with like Photoshop. But with Photoshop, the main thing you get is photo manipulation, that kind of stuff. There's some things I'm not going to get into because there's a whole list. You just have to know what you want to do. If comics and drawing is like your primary focus, I would say check it out. I don't say if you already have Photoshop, you don't need like check it out. I wouldn't say it's mandatory to own, but check it out. It's definitely something interesting. And there's a lot of people that are switching to it for a lot of the reasons I said. And many more. I would recommend doing some research, but if you had like a specific question that might make you go, you know what, I might try it because of that, feel free to ask. But all in all, like if you're used to Photoshop, this is very similar. And if you're not used to Photoshop, a lot of the pens and like a lot of the out of the box settings and stuff is awesome. It's really cool stuff. Hey Jamafly, how's it going? Also, you guys let me know if it's streaming, like if it hiccups or if there's lag, because I switched to like a wireless stick here instead of hardwired to the internet, and I know there's a lag. So let me know if it's getting too slow or if it's just shit. Hey Jesop, what are you doing, bobos? Oh, you being a rascal? Yeah, it's a big stink. The big stink. Oh, big guy. Okay, so she's trying to figure it out. What was the thing? Momo keeps looking at the monk's door for ways to get in. So she's just. Alright, maybe we could show. You know what? This panel, let's show the door. Maybe there's like some cool pattern on the door or something. Like a face. Face on door. Maybe I'll make it look evil a little bit, even though the monk's not evil, but it might give the readers, like that feeling that it is. Let me just take a look at Peace, see what he looks like here again. I think it's just like a straight face, right? Yeah, he doesn't really have any, except he's got like these lines that go down his eyes and stuff. Yeah, we could ramp that up. Like a longer chin. Maybe make these look a little bit more epic, give it that more intimidation feel. even though this guy's got like the heart of gold. So here then, if we're gonna do that, let's do another. So we've got a down shot, an up shot. This is pretty much gonna be a straight shot. Let me just wrap this up. Are we gonna put stairs here? How do we get to this place? Yeah, let's put some stairs. Everybody likes stairs. Let's put some stairs. Just give it like a little pattern back here for him. And we can put the building here. And this can be Momo yelling at him like, you know, I'm trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, he's like knees deep in shit over here. Just trying to fight these guys. For days, remember. Yeah, we're getting there. And then he might be screaming like, can you hurry up? Battery's running low kind of thing, right? So let's get the door. Kind of want to make her bigger. Make the door much bigger. All right, so if we've got a down shot, up shot, close up, medium, like normal shot. What's the last one we got left? A silhouette? But we need to show this. I want to show this face a little bit more. Let's do maybe just like almost like a staged shot. You know, like you went to a play. You're sitting down. Maybe we can have Momo here. And she's saying something about the face, maybe. Something. Oops. Something about the face. And this is the magic right here, guys. This is how the comics get made, or at least this kind of style. And my intent too, like if you're new to my channel and all that stuff, if you're new to this stream, there's like a bajillion streams. That's a gross overestimation, but there's a lot of recorded content. If you feel like you want to go back, I try to document as much as I could and the process, so that's why they're longer videos of issue 1. And a lot of this is documented there, and it's proven effective for me. It proved to me that I could do an issue. So if you're like me and you want to be able to jump into drawing right away, but you kind of get stuck at writing, check some of those videos out, or keep watching, and maybe you'll get something here that might help you out. At least that's my intent, to sort of show you guys. Okay, so we got, was that page 4? Now we're to page 5. I think we're back to fighting in here. Oh no, we got Momo doing some action here. Alright, let me grab my stickers. Put that there. Momo tries spells to open the door. Hey Monsterism, welcome back, man. Welcome. Alright, so what's... Yeah, maybe she does lightning or something, I don't know. Because in the first issue she used... Okay, I want to do a little bit of parallels here, so just bear with me here. So, diamonds and doblins, save for web. The first spell Momo used was fire, right? It was this one. And then she used lightning next. And what did she use after that? Was it lightning again? Yeah, it was like a lightning bolt kind of thing. Electrocuted him. All right, well maybe she'll try. Let's do the thing again. Maybe that's what she does. She likes to use fire first. All right, so we can have her channeling. All right, close up. Actually, let's do this. Let's break the panels out a little bit just to give them some life. Maybe I can add something like that to these previous panels, maybe. I don't know. Alright, so this one, I want her tentacle here with like a spark of fire. And then she's going to nuke the door. Door will be fine. Then we can kind of get her like depressed look. panel is going to be a little hard to do. Let's bring this down because I need room for speechies. So maybe she's saying, well, let me just get like a thinner brush here. No more messing around. Jesop's exhausted. She's summoning the power of Grayskull. Little flame. We'll go from there. So what's happening? Okay, so we're working on Jesop King issue 2 thumbnails. So spoilers. For those that are on, and I didn't say this at the beginning, but if you're on Patreon, also, sorry guys, my head's. I've got like a few things going on, and they're in different stages, so I always feel like I forget to add like, oh, at the beginning when you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, here's some updates, then you can skip to whatever you want thing. But I think today I actually have to make a video. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure it's today. And then I'll also be posting it on YouTube probably over the weekend, just talking about. I just changed my Patreon reward tiers last month. And I apologize. Some people were, I don't want to say offended, but the biggest ones were, they were like the $30 tier where I would hang out with somebody for like an hour and I would help you guys out and all that. And sadly, I had to cancel that. And I feel like I let a couple people down that were part of that. So I'm not going back to it because I need to focus on this stuff. But where I apologize again is that I'm going to be changing it again. And I started doing it this way, and then I stopped. Whatever, it doesn't matter. To primarily focus on the comic itself. So like the $1 a day, and I don't know the reward tiers I have written down. I'll have to. You guys will see it in the video. A super short one. But like the $1 one for sure is like you get this kind of stuff, but like high resolution and more processed stuff, as we've been doing with like the first issue and stuff, and all that stuff that you did see. Same thing going on. I won't be doing the 1 hour thing, but there'll be stuff like because the way the comic's releasing now is by issues. It's not going to be like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or whatever. Here's a page and then it's all done. It'll be when it's done, it's done. Bang! It's all put up online for free. And if you're on Patreon, you'll see the process of it going up. And then I forget what one of the reward tiers. I think it's $3 or something like that. But when an issue is done, you get like the HD PDF that you can do whatever you want with. That kind of stuff. So focus it more on the content that's going with this. Yeah, so I even forget how I even got into that little sales pitch. But right, sorry. So what's going on? So I'm working on this right now. I started a really quick. I've been getting up at 4 a.m. That's the thing I forgot to mention. I've been getting up at 4 a.m. the last 3 days now. I've slowly gotten back to 4 a.m. It's still super tough to get up that early. I'll be in bed by like 8 p.m., get the coffee press going so that in the morning I just got to put hot water in there and then I can, get going. But I'll tell you guys this, okay? If you want to do, let me just say this because this is going to go into rant and rambling time here, okay? So sit back, relax. Hopefully it won't be too long. Let me wet the whistle. Anyway, so talking about it to death, there's a book called The War of Art. And in it talks a lot of things about fear and resistance. And it's that guy, the author's, what's it called? The author's assumption that the number one thing that prevents artists, whether it's writing, drawing, whatever, singing, all those things, is resistance of doing the work. There's a resistance that's there. And he says one of the manifestations of resistance can be fear. And when I stopped doing the Marvel stuff, and I actually just talked about this on this like morning podcast kind of thing that I'm doing now, or I'll do it once a day whenever. It just lately has been in the morning because I can kind of talk. My girlfriend's at work, so I can kind of whatever. But in the book, I'm trying to get there. He also has a different book called Turning Pro, and regardless is basically there's two sides. There's amateurs and pros, right? Amateurs love what they do. Pros, they do it even when they don't. Like, they love it so much, there's nothing else they can do. That's great. But when you love something so much, you probably are resisting it and you're fearing it. And that doesn't happen for everybody, but it was happening for me. And in a lot of ways, the main reason that I've come to just humble myself to the point of just saying I'm afraid of turning pro, and that's why in my heart, after reading this book, it almost seems like I read a Bible in a way, and that's why I keep talking about it. But is that not turning pro in the terms of being the best, and that's all my life is comics. I can't be that. I'm not. I like storytelling in lots of forms. Okay, but I want to turn pro in terms of that is the job I do, not that it's I'm the best in that field. I'm okay with not being the best in that field. To be the best in the field, that's got to be the consumption of your entire life. I believe that as well. So turning pro is also that decision of no matter what, you have to work every day. That's what a professional does. If you think about it in terms of like your day job or your night job or your part-time jobs, even school, somehow you can set an alarm clock. You can get up, force feed yourself. I love this. Force shit yourself. Force use the washroom, force shower yourself, force shave, if male, female, whatever you gotta do. Get ready, basically, and go work for somebody or someplace or school, right? You bring a lunch with you, and even if you're sick, some of us will call in sick if it's super bad, or you'll even go in when you're sick because you got family to support. And what I'm getting at is somehow we're able to, probably because we've done it since we're teenagers or something, you just know it's super important to go do that, but we don't treat the thing that we're passionate about with the same respect. And that's where I just made that decision again of he's right. He's 100% right. Because of that, that's because I don't have that professional attitude. I might talk stuff, which is great, which is cool. And I believe what I'm saying, but sometimes there's those days where I'll come home and I'm just like, I'm exhausted from work like everybody else, right? And it's like, I just, I need, and I'm not talking about needing a break. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 days later go by, or making decisions such as like I bought the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, right? And I played it since launch when it came out. It's not that long ago, but putting in like an hour or 3 hours a day because it's super fun. But I know this is something I want to be doing, yet I'm not doing that, right? I'm not giving it the respect. I'm giving it more of like that. I'm calling in sick tonight, which isn't, it's not the professional attitude. I'm not saying everybody here you need to be doing this sort of thing. I'm just saying if this is pulling on anything that might sound like, I think you're kind of onto something. Just check out that book. I think there's an audiobook somebody pirated online. You can read that for free. Read some quotes, some interviews, whatever. The War of Art. Then he's also got two other books, but the other one you might want to try is called Turning Pro, and the other one is Do the Work, and that's really all it is. So that's the switch that I'm sort of making in my life, trying, and that doesn't, and I don't want to go to the part where I was, I don't think people enjoyed being around me and stuff, especially like relationships, like personal or otherwise, where it's I'd go to work, the day job, I'd come home, and then I would be working for somebody else, which is fine, like a client. And that's all I could do, and I was pushing people away, which is fine. But then in my spare time, I wasn't making time for people, and that's the one thing that I found getting out of this funk that I was in, just going for walks and stuff, is like you gotta find some way to still find a way to connect with people, whether that's even just going outside and seeing them, right? You don't even have to necessarily talk to them, but when you talk to people, if they ask you how your day's going, tell them, right? Like I would surmise that most people we hang out with, they don't really care necessarily about the nuts and bolts of what we do. That's what this is right here. But most of it is you got to just listen to people vent and talk about and get annoyed by them. By they're like, oh, man, your mundane life sucks. I come in here and I'm drawing like a big muscle guy punching through monsters in the face. Like this is the world I get to escape to today, right? But you got to go out, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but you got to make time, even if it's like that hour a day for that walk or whatever. Going to the gym, something to get you out, just so that you can connect back, so you don't get lost in this. Because that's where I kind of got. I got so lost in this that I didn't even know what was going on anymore. So really long, really long answer to your your question, but that's what's been going on. Let me just catch up with what you guys are saying here. So let's see. La 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 la. How long, Rube, how's it going, is asking, how long did it take you to do issue one? I think it was 6 months. I believe so. Thank you for reminding me because I've forgotten. I'm supposed to be tracking the time. Every time I stream, I always forgot. Here, I'll show you guys this too. It's been a little while since I showed you guys this. I know there's always going to be new people coming in, that's why. So apologize to those who've already seen this to death. I have a video, I believe, talking about this as well. I got videos talking about everything. I talk too much. And what it is, let me see here. So we got to go issue one. Okay, so let me just bring it over here so you guys can see it. So what this is it's a spreadsheet, as fun as that can be, right? Actually, so here we go. So I started recording the time. My start date was January 20th on page 9. And we ended in April, January, February, March, April, May, June, around June, July, around there. Yeah, so about, we'll say 6 to 8 months. Wow, that's crazy. It's gonna be January in like a month now, right? And it's like it feels less like this whole year's gone by. I'll tell you that. But anyway, I have a video talking about this for those of you that are interested in this kind of thing. This is what I need to start again for issue 2. I'll just go back and rewatch how long it took me to do this and put it in. But what you do is you just put in, right, like, so here's your page. So thumbnail, you put in how much time it took you, right? Round up or whatever, and you'll do the same thing. Like, and these are each the steps that I have. You can leave it 0. So my silhouettes and roughs, lettering and writing, line art, inks and color. And then what this does is at the top here, you can see this is the total amount of time that I've spent that I calculated, right? So 15 hours over the course of 20, we'll say 20 pages. I know it's not right. It only took me 15 hours to do the roughs, which is kind of interesting to think about. But then you get into the meat and potatoes here. It took me 34 hours to do line art. But what's really cool is when I look at this kind of thing, I'm like, damn, man, like, it's not taking me long to do these things. If I could just do this full time, I'd be cruising through this stuff. But to be fair, in Jesop King, right, like, there weren't any really backgrounds that I had to render. It was just bodies. So I realize that. Anyway, so and then you'll also get your average. And over here, this is so that I calculated. It was 135 hours, and it was averaging about 5.25 hours to do a single page on average, which is cool. So I want to do this again for issue 2 because it's less, but it's information over time, which is great. But I recommend checking this stuff out just so you have an idea, like how long it takes you to do something too, right? And you can actually notice like growth, right? Like, if it slowed you down, you can kind of go back and be like, why the F did page 17 take me 20 hours to do? And you can look and it's like, oh, I had a giant cityscape of New York City to draw, a double page spread, right? Like, you can kind of get a little feel in there. Bitey, got to get back to work. Just want to say hi. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah. Have a good day at work. You're probably already gone. Monsters, I feel guilty for not supporting you, man. Money is tight. No, hey, don't worry about it. You're here. I'm not doing this for the money like, obviously, yeah, money is great. But I'm not selling any of this stuff just yet. So this is all just for sharing and all that kind of stuff. 4 a.m. is the bomb, Jim. I appreciate that. It's 2 a.m. in Australia. Caesar, look at you. I like it. If you wake up at 4 a.m., at what time do you go to sleep? I go to bed at 8 p.m. I might sound like, what? So I wake up at 4 lately, and I want to stick to this because when I was working on a project called The Standard, if you guys have been around that long, when I was working on that project, what was happening was I was working, I think it was a full-time job or it was 2 part-time jobs or something, but the thing that I really need to be working here. I can't work and do thumbnails while I'm talking about this stuff, sorry. Is when I was working those jobs, my time for drawing was when I was done, but I was exhausted. And I forget what I was reading. It was another book or one of these like self-help people, The Miracle Morning or other people just talking about that stuff, like the Tony Robbins, all that stuff. And they were just talking about like getting up early. Like if you can set your alarm clock for, I don't know, let's say 7 o'clock to go to work, to get ready for work, you can set it for 6 o'clock to get up an hour to do something you love. If you can't do that, then there's probably, you're not getting up for the right reasons. Right? And don't expect to just flip overnight. This takes a little bit of time. Like set it back 15 minutes and go for that for like a week. And then, it's a habit thing you got to get into. And I get tired. I can feel it right now. But anyway, so I get up at 4. And the only reason 4 is right now, I used to do 5, but it's 4 right now because my girlfriend, she's working at a factory now. And she has to get up at 4 a.m. And then she gets home at 2. So she's putting in the full day. So I figure if she's getting up at 4, I don't have to be quiet around the house, right? I can get up at 4 too, and then that way we can kind of go to bed. But she's on swing shift, so when she switches, I don't know how that's going to work. But I want to stick to 4 because even at my day job, that gives me like 3 solid hours of just doing this, which is in a lot of ways the same, if not a little bit more than I would do coming home from work. So I get this done. I get home at around 5. It gives me 3 hours of relaxation, and I'm feeling it. I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling it. And then I know I've already put in a solid day of work. I can't feel bad. If I want to do extra and there's nothing going on and I have that little spark, go ahead. But if not, I put in a solid amount of work. And the weekend is when I can kind of do the same thing, like put in that 8-hour shift kind of thing, that I was doing throughout the week for somebody else. I could do that for me. And if I can't do this because it's relaxing in some ways, then it's not, this is probably not the right medium to do kind of thing. So that's usually how it goes. And I don't really watch too many TV. This is the thing, I'll tell you guys this too, okay? And I fucking just listen to me ramble. Jesus Christ. The decision to turn pro, if that's the terminology I'm using here. If the decision is to turn pro, you'll find that means going in and doing this, and it leaves little time to spend money on entertainment and video games and movies and things like that. And you might be, I don't want to. I like my entertainment and stuff, but what I'm saying is, if that decision to you seems real enough that you want to make the professional switch in your head, you'll notice that like those things that you think you might miss now by waking up early, like, yeah, but my TV shows are on at certain things, or I hang out with my buddies at like 10 p.m. and stuff. I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm just suggesting that it's probably good for a lot of people. And if you can find what that is, you'll find that what you're missing is you're not really missing anything. You might feel it, but there's always time, like especially on like a weekend or maybe you have a day a week where it's I think it's right to have at least one day a week where you're like, to me, the professional, you got to work every day. But that might just mean an hour on that 7th day, and then you can relax and spend family time or something. But like administration sort of stuff, right? Like take a look at your thing and go, I'm a professional. I'm taking a day off today, but what I would like to do for me, as to treat it with the respect it deserves, is to come in and go, I'm going to plan my week coming up so that I can just tackle it if I can, and just do that. And that won't take that very long, right? An hour most. And then you can play your Star Wars Battlefront all day or that kind of thing, right? I don't know. I'm not saying it's you have to do these things. Just suggestions. Just suggestions. You're damn good, John. I don't understand how you're not being picked up. Okay, no, the reason I'm not being picked up, like I said, is because I'm not treating it with the respect it deserves 100%. I was afraid to actually have that become my job. Here's the thing. Oh man, I'm never working today. Okay, so if this was like the biggest fear, and to me, it took me a little while, I'd say like a good month of just going, you know what, you're going to have to make the call. And that's to say that if I turn pro and I work for, like, let's say a Marvel or a DC or pick a studio, right? That means that at some point it's going to get to the point where it's like freelance work, right? And I can't work my full-time job while I do that. So that's where the choice comes in. Do you quit your full-time job to go into this? Think about it. It's super risky, high-risk poker life of freelance, right? Because just because Marvel gives you a shot to do a cover or a comic doesn't mean that you're made it and you're going to continually get work, right? It's a business. If you're not bringing in money, there's relationship problems or whoever. Like, then what? Then what, right? And that was the underlining fear that I always was trying to run away from, and that's why I say I'm humbly saying it, because it can be embarrassing, like it's kind of like, well, why are we drawing it? It's to make it, right? But the comforts that I'm used to, that I've been used to, even though I hate them, right? I hate having to get up for somebody else to work. I enjoy the work and the people at times, right? For sure. But like, the benefits I get at work, the guaranteed paycheck, as long as I show up, I could sleep at work and nobody would really notice. And I get, not that I would, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's things you get just by being a body in a spot. As soon as you go to freelance work for a company, yeah, you got to produce every single day, right? So it's scary because for me, I've never been 100% in it like that, right? So that's where that fear comes in. And then at the same time, what it all comes down to at the end of the day is you live once. I don't know what it's like, so I'm afraid of something I don't know 100%. But inside, this is my way of communicating story to people. The storytelling, right? This is how I relate to human beings, because I don't like talking to people. I don't particularly find people that interesting, to be honest. Artists are a little different because you can speak on a different. It's like a comedian talking to another comedian. They get it, but a comedian talking to average Joe that likes what you do, it's not the same. It's just they're not. We're not wired the same. And if you're an artist, I'm assuming you probably think the same thing. We like being, doing our own little thing. So all those sorts of things, and it's like I'm getting afraid of something that I don't know what that world gives me or what it takes away. And by not doing that, I'm not listening to that one. Whether you're religious or not, I'm not. But I do believe that we all have something. There's a reason, not that necessarily that you're put here, but there's a reason you do what you do. And a lot of the bad habits that we do are because we're subconsciously or willingly you're suppressing that thing that you are, that thing that you give back to people, right? Like if there's one thing humans do that I think is the best thing that we do, besides having empathy, is creating, for better or for worse, right? And if you're not doing that in some way, whether it's singing, making machines, fixing machines, or like fixing people, maybe you're like you got motherly qualities and stuff, right? Raising people, like these are all things that a lot of this stuff, like you get comfortable at your job, you're gonna sleep in, you're gonna play a video game, you're gonna do all these things, but you're not doing that thing that's like if you could do that one thing right now that's not tied to money or something, like and we shut that down, right? So I'm going all over the place on you, but anyway, that's sort of I know the reason why I'm not picked up. That with like yeah okay I can always improve on anatomy and storytelling and perspective and just like everybody else, right? Like those are things that'll get better over time. Boo, don't support EA. I don't support EA. I support Dice because the game is actually really fucking good. It's an awesome game. It just sucks that there's loot crates. You can't spend money anymore right now, but you just have to grind the game to unlock things. Honestly, I think even as is, I don't understand how people don't enjoy the game. I get why people don't want to buy the game because of the loot crates and all that stuff. I 100% get that. And you do your thing. If you don't want to get it, to put your little like stamp that no, we don't want loot crates and other things. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying the gameplay itself, without all that, awesome. If you like the first Battlefront, like it's great. It's better. It's better in every way. Okay, what else we got here? Bronco, I subscribed a great time ago. How to because you are so passionate about what you do, and I'm happy to see. Okay, thanks, buddy. I appreciate the kind words there. Curtis, how you doing, buddy? I work third shift, then I come home and work on a comic or a character sketch. It's hard sometimes, but it's all worth it. 100%. And again, I would suggest too trying to get up a little earlier if you can. If you can't, you can't. Everybody gets their thing that they can try to make work for them. Do you draw traditional? Not as much as I like. I was doing, and I want to get back into it, like a traditional sketch a month that I sell on like eBay or something like that. All that kind of thing. So that's I enjoy it. It gives me that break. It keeps things fresh as well. I don't think there's anything wrong, but production work like this kind of stuff, I digital just makes it quicker. The only thing I do traditional sometimes are like thumbnails sometimes. But this stuff is just it's easier to erase and stuff like that. No mess, no fuss, right? Oh, you can't afford it? No, it's all good, dude. Not to make a stand, but if I had money, I probably wouldn't. Okay, no, hey, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody. And again, I work in the fucking video game industry, right? I get it. I understand it. But I'm sadly, for better or for worse, I just really love Star Wars. Big fan, and the gameplay is I don't want to say phenomenal because that makes it sound way way more impressive than it is. But as somebody that like doesn't have, especially now, I'm trying to be a little bit more disciplined with it, right? But I don't want to make so much time for video games because it's not fulfilling the thing inside of me that makes me happy. It's like a band aid. It's a temporary pleasure, right? Uh, saying all that, saying all that, just being able to log in for like an hour or a half hour, like a match or two, you know, I used to be a little bit of a shame saying I enjoy Call of Duty games, but for whatever reason, they really sing to me as like a freelance artist or an artist, whatever you want to say, that doesn't have like a lot of time to play games. My favorite genre always has been role playing games. Pillars of Eternity, I started playing that. Fucking awesome game. The sad part is they just take so much time. Well, let me take that back. That's not the sad part. Uh, the part that hurts me is because I can't play them because they take so long. I mean, I could, but then I don't get to. You know what I'm saying? So, with the shooter stuff, for better or for worse, I get to play when I can, and it's super fun. At least I enjoy it. I don't like this one. This panel's. I'm not getting the feels from this panel here. We need massive impact, but I think I'm kind of screwing myself by not giving me a lot of options here. Do you still have your iPad? Yep, I have my iPad Pro. Yeah, it's over here. I really don't actually use it as much as I, I thought I would. But we'll see. Now that I'm trying my best anyway. I don't want to make it sound, bigger deal than it is, but trying my best to be a little bit more aggressive with taking the shit super seriously. So I might take it to get out of the house from time to time to do like roughs or something like that. I don't think I've seen people do it, but I don't think that I'll be doing like finished work on it. So we put her here shooting and it's there now. Let me just see the flow we've got here. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe no. Here, we'll try this. We'll have it like shooting fire in your face. This panel is like the door didn't do anything, and then her like looking pissed. Do you do comic cons? I was doing only local comic cons last year and the year before, but I don't think I'll be doing. The only reason I did it last year is I got one for free, which I was very grateful for. But I don't want to like. There's no reason for me to go to a comic con. To be honest with you, like there could be contacts there, but in Windsor, there's no real point. And the people, my comics online, right? So if I'm going, I'm either trying to sell a print, and I don't really do prints. Like I, from time to time, the last one we did was the Venom one, uh, but not that I'm saying I'll never do it, but I enjoy doing this right now. So, and Jesop won't be printed at all. Maybe down the road at some point, but for now, no. It's just a free online comic kind of thing, right? And that means it is what it is. So there's no reason for me to go to a con unless I'm like buying stuff or something, which is always possible. If Jessup gets printed or something like this is another thing I remember talking to you guys about this before. Is I think it'd be a better investment instead of buying a booth to try to get people to read my comic, is just buying like a weekend pass, printing out a bunch of mini comics for 1 to 200 bucks, the price of a table or something, and then just walking around the convention handing them out every day. At least people will take it. They throw it away, whatever. But they might take that home and then enjoy what they see in the mini comic and go check out the website, right? Like that, as opposed to me trying to bring people in. And I understand that I would be missing out on me talking to you about the comic, and that might be why you read it for sure. Um, but for now, I mean, I'm still in the growing phase. I feel, and I'm just letting the internet do its thing. Let the internet. It might sound like a horrible way to do it. I'm not sure, but that's the plan right now. That's the plan right now. Yes, I have tried Clip Studio on the iPad. It works awesome. It works great. But I don't. I'm hesitant because if I buy it now, like people are saying, I should just buy. Maybe that's what December 3rd was. I think that's what it is. December 3rd. Is that when it ends? Thank you for bringing that up. I might pay for it and then cancel it. If you buy it now, you get 6 months free, and then after 6 months, it goes into like what is it, $7 to $15 a month? To me, that's insane. If I was doing this full time, right, like if this was my gig, that might be something different. But I don't travel and use it, so it doesn't hit me. If it was a one time like $100 to buy the app, I might buy that, which might sound kind of counter like stupid, but no. But it was awesome. It worked really good on there. Monsters. I understand it's the fear of commitment and not being. I love the lag. I love the lag. I understand it's the fear of commitment and not being good enough, though that doesn't apply to you, in my opinion. However, artist angst and stable job. No, I appreciate that again. And thank you. It's hard to say, right? Like, this is how you guys know me through this. So you don't know the day to day non like this is me not being entertaining, but I don't normally talk like this, right? Like up and down. And one of the things I always remember is when you're talking to people online or anything like that, you can hear my voice going up and down, right? It's to engage you, just that stuff, right? So I'm not lying when I'm speaking. I'm trying to be passionate about it because I am, and I want to help you guys, but keep you entertained as well. But when I'm normally talking, right, like it's just monotone. It's very much like this, and it's like a regular person talking. It's nothing, So you can just hear it already, right? Where it is what it is, and I'm a normal guy, and I've got the same fears maybe entry level artists have, or maybe you've got too. So it is what it is. But thank you for that anyway. Much as probably buy the TMNT print for Xmas. I think they're all sold out. Actually, let me go check my store. I hope they're not on there. Cause I just can you guys even see them on the stream? Let me see. I just put a bunch of pictures. Kind of. Yeah, I sold out. I've only got the one. I got to print another one, but it's just the bad guys like Bebop, Rocksteady, and stuff. The actual turtles, they're not on there. Let me check my site. Pretty sure they're sold out. I think I've really only got like Venom left, which is really cool to be able to say that. You sell out of a print. That's sweet. But I did go to some conventions for that too, right? Yeah, they're sold out. The only things that are left, I think, yeah, the Mega Man and the Venom, and I still got some of the old sketchbook reds available too. If anybody's interested in that. But anyway, sorry, buddy. Do a Kickstarter for print edition. No, I've been thinking more and more about that too. You know what? Secretly, guys, in the back of my head, you guys brought this on a while ago, and I've been listening to. There's actually I listened to this episode by Jason Brubaker and Ahmed or Ahmed. Is that how you say it? I believe it is Ahmed. I forget the last name of that guy, but he's a really cool channel. And they were talking about. Actually, here one sec. Let me just get this in here. The fire. They're just I don't know, just talking about a lot of really inspirational stuff, and it was really really cool to hear, and it helped me actually while I was going on my walk and listening to this kind of stuff and clearing my head, all that cool shit. But what are we talking about? Right. And he started talking about Image Comics, and I have to check into it a little bit more. But I've been thinking, right? So Jesop King issue 1 is it's long, but this issue I think is 24. I want to go to 22, 24 pages like a traditional book, and I think nowadays you need like 3 pages to pitch a comic to Image. So I'm definitely going to look into it. I don't know the costs and stuff, but issue 2, this will be issue 2, and then we'll do 3 and 4. Those would be the ones that I would pitch because they meet the requirements, right? Issue 1's kind of whatever, but I don't know if I would rework some stuff or not. But it is something I'm thinking of, and the only reason I'm saying Image is because I don't right now is like Patreon or not, sorry, not Patreon, Kickstarter and stuff. I'm taking one battle at a time. I don't want to come up with all the content. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to come up with the content with the video and go, "Hey guys, come buy my shit," and then I got to put the boxes and figure out all that stuff. I'm not ready to make that jump just yet. This isn't the project for that. The project would be like maybe I don't know, like Castle Dracula or something where it's like that's what this will be. I don't want to do that. So the Image thing is like they take care of. You just got to pay for it. And it's not just like you pay money and you get free stuff. I'm not saying that, but I just want to. I'm going to look a little bit into it. It might not even be this. It might be something else, and do a little pitch that way too. So I'm trying to open my doors a little bit slower, but continue to make content. Right? Like you never know what happens just by making stuff and putting it out there. And that's currently where we're at. Yeah, well, I hope you like the Venom. The Venom, it's still one of my favorites. He's right there. Turned out really well too, with the coloring and all that. A fan of the Mega Man. I don't know. I should probably like. I was thinking. I was putting up my prints. I'm like, is it conceited to put your own prints up instead of somebody else's? I feel like I should have like people that influence me around me as opposed to, hey, look, it's just all my own shit. Okay. Sticker. Okay, so this ends the first act, if you call it that. Now we're going to just fighting. This lose control. Let's take a look at what we did for Jesop. Do we have like the big... Alright, let's try to do like maybe a kind of like she got a splash page. Let's give Jesop one big. I just wanted to have one of these where I'm just drawing like some fun shit, like just a cluster of stuff. We're gonna have him here. Have him kind of like parts of him here. But just swamped with monsters around him. Could be like shooting some eye lasers out. What's this one? So I'm just gesturing a whole bunch of lines in here. I'll have to figure this out when we get to the roughs here, but hey, Kay, how's it doing? Go ahead, man. Oh, fuck. Let me try that again. Did you hear that? You got me so excited I couldn't even... Awesome. How are you doing, man? Like, fucking hell. How's it going? How you doing? Still playing Guild Wars or what? How's the drawing going? All that good stuff? Seizure. Hey, man, just wanted to say that you inspired me to create my own YouTube channel as well as comics. Oh, awesome. Hey, right on. I wish you all the best. And good luck, too, by the way. Keep it up, you bald son of a gun. Yes. The baldness. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it feels good, AK. Feels good to just be in that right space again, you know? You can get lost from time to time. Oops, that's not supposed to happen just yet. Okay, so this one is, okay, more, hopefully I'm as famous as you. I'm not, I'm famous? I didn't know I was famous. Don't mistake internet, oh, there's a bird here, one sec. Don't mistake internet subscribers as some sort of like prestigious thing. It's same old shit. Same old shit. Okay, so this one is more of a Jesop fighting. So let's take a look. What else has he done here? So he's ripping dudes apart, punching them, punching through two people at once. Now he's got the eye lasers going. He's zapping people. We need him just getting... Okay, what can we do to screw him over besides punch him in the face and choking him out? Maybe we can do... Oh, I gotta... in my mind, just wrote, this might look kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see. Some of those monsters just... Boom. Punching straight down. Maybe hitting them this way.
Stupid mustache. Kind of knocked him down, you know. Maybe we could have that hand actually break the panel. That might look kind of cool. I'll have to figure out the rest of the anatomy. I don't, I don't know where the rest of it goes. So smack! He's just getting wrecked here. Wait, what's the next page? Okay, let's do this. We haven't done one of these in a while. We'll do the silhouette stuff. This is just a super easy way to get like scope and scale with like no work at all, really. Right, so we can show like all these dudes just like you can show like an army of bad guys, you know, without showing an army of bad guys, kind of thing. Yeah. Hey Ben, how's it going? I always like the hitting a guy with another guy trope. Have you tossed that in any fight scenes yet? I don't think I have. What's the next one? Yeah, let's do it. So I just found something that I think might screw me up here. I don't think I've shown that he has eye lasers yet. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the eye lasers. It's a little spoiler for you guys, I guess. Because there's a scene where it comes up where his eyes start to turn red for the first time. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Maybe we'll just put a bunch of guys coming at him. Here we'll have to get rid of this. A big group of people. Alright. I haven't played Guild Wars 2 for a month. Kind of been drawing. Oh, good, good. I'd like to hear that. Yeah, this is issue 2, my man. Issue 2. Alright, let's do the throwing thing. Maybe he can snatch a guy here. Something. It's gonna be a little hard to do because there's like all these people around him, right? But put an arm here. Maybe he's like breaking the arm. Yeah, thanks for the idea too, by the way. Appreciate it. Oh, somebody made a. I forget who. If it's somebody that's in here right now, you let me know. I apologize for not remembering your name. On Twitter, they made a suggestion, and I want to do it too, but probably for like issue 3, is have like a little contest for those interested of like a monster, design a monster kind of thing that Jesop can fight or go against in issue 3. Uh, and the winner, or possibly winners or something, I'll put them in the comic. I think that'd be kind of cool. I didn't think people would actually be interested in something like that, so maybe what if we go this way? I might have to fix that up when we get there, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. It's all good, dude. Hey, so what do you guys think about the Avengers trailer? Hey, could you do a thing where we send you fan art of Jessup King and feature it in the comic? You know, that's actually a really good idea. You know what? I'm gonna. Okay, hold on. We got great ideas coming in. Great ideas. All right, that makes sense. I can totally do that because. So how this is gonna go is when the issue's done. The only thing is I don't know how I'm gonna post it on my Tumblr site. I think I can post all 24 pages in a single post. I don't know. That I'm kind of uh, scared and excited at the same time for that because if I have to post page by page, I'm gonna have to figure out some way to put it on the website where it's like click here to start at chapter 2 kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I do like the fact that we can add things at the bottom, like on Webtoons and Tapastic and stuff. So yes, I'll make a tweet actually at the end of this stream. I'll figure it out. Not that it's crazy, but I'll get email. I'll give you guys an email. You guys can send it. I think I have Jessup King has his own email. That way you guys can send fan art there. I think that'd be a great idea. And then I don't know if it's like I'll put everything in or pick and choose some or something like that. But I think that'd be awesome. And no, thank you. That's a great idea. What do you think, Jessup? Is that a good idea, Papa? Hey, baby Jojo, is that a good idea? Oh, you want a little nap? Yeah, thank you. Good idea. Dennis is psyched for Avengers right now. You're drawing bald Thanos right now. I love it. Can you guys see it in the background? I don't know if you guys can see it. The cheese. Oh no, it's in the corner. Hold on. Hold on. Can this reach? No, one sec. Do you guys remember this at all? Here, I can't see. Where's my? Yeah, it's okay. It's a piggy bank. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. It's a piggy bank, and I wanted to get like underneath here if I could like open this up and put lights in there at some point. I think it'd be really cool like at night with lights going through the colors or whatever. But I saw this. It was super cheap at this comic book store I go to. It's big too, right? I was like, I don't have like I've got some stuff. I have some stuff over here, but I don't have like expensive statues and things like. I've got a Megazord. I mean, I think $100 is the most I've spent on some of that stuff, and even that's kind of crazy. I don't have like a great display case for this stuff, but I'm a massive fan of Thanos. Before that, you guys know I was making a prints and stuff before then, but I saw it. I'm like, I gotta have something like that in my room, man. That's just too cool. It's just too cool. Okay, let's go here. Okay, so that one's done. Jesop's eyes begin to turn red, and now, see this one, I'm kind of hesitant to share. I might. I know we're just having fun. I know we're getting started, but 2 hours sounds about a good time to wrap up, possibly. So when I write these stories, and I'll tell you why I don't want to stream this next part. Not that it's like the most amazing thing ever, but hear me out. Is so when I write these stories, I start with the beginning, middle, and end. Right? That's like what I've heard referred to as the A story. And then in a lot of good stories, there's also the B story. So the B story is related. It can be related, but it usually adds something to it. An example could be the main story is a superhero saving a bank from being robbed from a villain, right? Like that's the A story. So bad guys robbing a bank. In the middle, they fight. At the end, the hero wins, right, and knocks the bad guy out or whatever. So the B story is another story that's happening in the background that can be related, right? So the B story could be maybe it's I don't know. We'll just say it's a mom and her son walking to the bank to deposit money, right? So the story would start, let's say, with a bad guy. Just use the Dark Knight as a is that the second one, whatever the second one's called, where they're all in the bank and everybody's there, and then all of a sudden the bad guy reveals himself, whatever, right? And the B story, they could already be in the bank or they could be walking into the bank and now they're held hostage and they have their own little story, but it's not as big or grand, but it's a little part. But what it does is it makes the story a little bit more rich. It just adds like a little almost like a second beat throughout the story that's related, right? Anyway, so in this one, there's a point for him having to do all this fighting and stuff, but the B story in this one is we're having Jessup do some flashbacks, and those flashbacks will be of him like killing kids and doing that kind of stuff. So I don't want to draw it so you guys can see the specific stuff we'll get into, but that's the context where he has to. There's a reason why he's got to do this, and he's kind of got to go through all the heat in his head, the past evil memories and stuff like that, right? So anyway, that'll be that. I think you know what, like yeah, this feels like a good time to kill the stream. Ahmed, am I saying it right? Ahmed. I know it's like the H is always a weird way of saying it. Aldori, something like that. That's his name. Yes, highly recommend checking out his channel. Great stuff. Great artist too, and a nice guy. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, let me know if you guys are enjoying. If any of you guys have been listening to it, it's like the little podcast every day, little small little I talk too much anyway. So those are there. There'll be a Patreon video coming out. You guys will see it on YouTube, even if you're not. Hi Patrick, by the way. Even if you're not a patron, that's cool. There'll be a video on here letting you guys know a little bit more of what's going on, that kind of stuff too. And I'm trying to think. Oh, and I'll make that tweet, which was a great idea, of the fan art thing. Thank you, by the way, for that. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. Like I say, the streams, I'm not going to go as strong as I kind of was doing before with the original Jessup stuff, where it was every day. I'm very much in that mindset so far of just spend some time with myself, turn on some tunes, and just get the work done. It's healthy too, I think, to be doing that. Other than that, I mean, yeah, you guys just follow me where you guys are following me: Twitter, Facebook. I've tried to be a little bit more active on Twitter, not necessarily like scrolling to find what people are saying, but posting more. So I'm sort of like I'm done with Facebook. I'll post like a music video or something from time to time, or if you're on Facebook, follow my art page or my fan page. I post all that stuff on there too. But like interactivity and stuff, I might respond to messages and things. But I'm kind of going back to Twitter now because it just seems a little bit more like a DM thing, right? Like I can message people or just say something, and it's I find it less time consuming than like Facebook where there's video and pictures and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything. That should be it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I rambled enough. But anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Great seeing all the new people in here, all the people that came back. Cool to see you guys too. Appreciate it. Last thing. Fucking last thing. Okay, sorry. Last thing, if you can remember of all the checklists. So, I talked about working on a Marvel sample script. It's Spider Gwen. It's called. What I've started doing is I just finished the thumbnails before we streamed. I did the thumbnails for that, so that's done. But I'm recording not the process of drawing it, but like when it's done and sort of like what I do. So a lot of you have already seen the process of like how I take a thumbnail to whatever. But I'm going through the entire thing of so this is what my thumbnails look like and the decisions and blah blah blah, and then that. But I'll post those once the sample's done and sent off. I should be finishing it. I'm hoping. Within a couple of weeks. So the videos they might not be till like late December. I want to make sure I don't want to post the stuff as I'm doing it. I'd rather do it at the end. So you guys can, if you're interested in that, you guys can check that out too. Just planting that seed for those interested in that. Okay. Do you do reviews on people's art? No. The only reason, two reasons. One, I don't want to make time for that. If you're talking about like reviews and critique, I used to do those, but they take a lot of time. Sadly, I'll be selfish and I just want to do my thing. They take too much time, and two, usually the same. What's the word I want to use? The same speech I give to everybody after I see it is just make sure you're trying to understand structure and form more than style and anatomy. Like anatomy is important, but like if you can't rotate a square in 3D space yet, you're gonna have struggling with anatomy and that sort of thing, right? So I'm saying the same thing over and over again, so it's kind of like I'm repeating it, and I don't know if people are just not listening or if you think you're the exception or something, but even me, right? Structure, structure, structure. If you're drawing like I am, where all these are scribbles, it's great, but without structure, you can't draw anything. So you need to learn that and spend some time really understanding how to break down a shape in any kind of perspective, because you can turn those shapes into things, right? So it's super critical for that, super critical. And that's really the only, that and just draw every single day. That there you go. And it doesn't even matter what the skin of your art looks like the style, because if you're not drawing every day, even for 10 minutes, if you're not drawing every day and you're not working on your structure every day, even if that means like you're incorporating your structure in your work, right? If you're not doing those two things, you're not growing fast enough or enough for your brain to remember, and you'll be struggling as you keep going, wondering why, that kind of stuff. Okay, so just do those and you'll be okay. Oh, and patience, 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 patience. Don't expect to draw for a year and get a job. Expect to draw for 20 years and maybe get a job. If you get in that mindset, and that's not a slacking mindset, that's like you need to put in the effort, and it's a long haul. Then you'll be set. If you don't want to do that and you want a shortcut or whatever, I'm the wrong guy to be talking to. I can't stand talking to people like that. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for the questions, all the cool stuff. I will talk to you guys soon. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye bye, guys. See ya.